Hey, this is Earthy Indigo, psychic medium intuitive and tarot card reader. This is celebrity psychic channeling for Meek Mill. Now, energetically, what came through around him first. Now, I'm not a legal professional, I'm not a lawyer, I don't have a license to practice or anything of that nature. This is just what energetically has come through. As it comes to around like his trial or a pending trial or how it went to the Supreme Court, it's giving this energy like they're trying to stall or they're trying to prolong it, um, like the decision or the final judgment, because now like he's out on bail. He's not necessarily free. He's just been released on bail. And I'm getting energy like they're trying to prolong it, waiting for them or trying to wait for the momentum to go down from the court of public opinion and from the court of, you know, humanity and humans, the court of public opinion and the people rallying behind him. They're waiting for that momentum, that, the popularity around him to die down. To to and it's like an energy that's coming through to me around stalling, seeing if the momentum can go down. Why making it? But we have evil and dark forces in the world, of course, but it's like why you know it's this energy like they really trying to sit him down. The forces or powers that be are really trying to sit him down. And it's leaning in as the energy comes through now. And I don't wanna put that out there around him, but I'm not getting the most positive energy. It can always change, things can always change, but I'm getting the energy of them trying to stall, waiting for it, or trying to wait for the momentum to die down, the fandom, to die down. That's energetically what's coming through. Also, after Nikki, I'm getting the energy that there was another relationship. And it's almost as energy like him and his mother both had serious or significant, like his like love possibly came into the life of his mom. That's coming through, like someone like maybe his mom fell in love or something got serious with his mom. That's cool, good for her. And then also that after Nikki there was a relationship or something that was really, serious, somebody who he felt um could have been the one. And that comes through really strong. And there's still, it's this energy of on and off again with this person. They're giving me an energy like they might be an air sign, like a Gemini or Libra. I'm not getting Aquarius. They could be, but I'm getting an air sign, but I'm getting a talkative, like somebody who is kind of intellectual. And they're giving me air. Like this coming through around this person. Or him entering in a relationship with somebody that's Gemini or Libra kind of a thing. Have a lot of those qualities is what's coming through around him as well. Now, briefly, why, the relationship, just to touch on a few things, why the relationship with him and Nikki didn't work. A lot of ego. just to do a little astro tease real quick, a lot of ego between the relationship with him and Nikki, and two very strong-willed, dominant personalities for sure. Two very, and Meek doesn't come off initially as extroverted, but just his energy is very extroverted. And there's also a need to, he's an alpha male. He is an alpha male. He's an alpha male. And also he requires a lot of attention from the woman that he's with. He requires a lot of attention. And that he has a moon in Leo. Okay, so Meek Mill has a moon in Leo. He requires a lot of attention from the women that he's with. He also requires her to be very beautiful, a showstopper, or that she should garner a certain amount of attention being on his arm, but not overshadow the attention that he receives with the moon in Leo. Nikki garnered a lot of attention, like even though Nikki is a Sagittarius, okay, still the way that she dresses, very outlandish, very materialistic, Fendi this, we got the this bag, and heavy on the wrists, and I see this and I see that. Those could fall under the dominion, and the gold and the jewelry and the flash, those could fall under the dominion of what he looks at when he looks at a woman and says, "Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like her style. I like that. I like the attention that she gets. I like that. Being a Leo moon, yet still not wanting it to overshadow, him and the attention or the affection that he receives from her and other people. You're a star when you're with me, and I make you look good. You look good, but I should, I make you look good too, kind of a thing." And also, the materialism with, him as well, like being attracted to. Now, he has a Sun and Mercury conjunct in Taurus. Okay? Now, his Sun and Mercury conjunct in Taurus is actually squaring the moon in Leo, which is, and let me see something here. Okay, yeah. So yeah, his Sun and Mercury is conjunct, henceforth, using his voice, because Taurus rules the throat and using the voice. Sometimes, surprisingly, Meek may have a singing voice that we don't know about, that he doesn't use, or he may be able to kind of harmonize. But it's the reason why he uses his voice, lyricism. And he's able to paint word pictures, depicting his environment, how he was raised, the grittiness of it. And that's the Sun and Mercury conjunct in Taurus square his Mars in Gemini. And then, of course, the Mars in Gemini sextiling the Moon in Leo, shedding light on, bringing fame to, popularity to his lyricism, his lyrics, his rap career. You know, that's the reason why he has a rap career and he's famous for his famous for. But the Sun and Mercury in Taurus square the Mars is also his harsh and hard upbringing. Gemini is the neighborhood, how you grew up, your neighbors, the area, you know, your environment in which you were reared in, your childhood life, K through 12. And it's Mars is there, and it's squaring the Sun and Mercury in Taurus. Taurus is, of course, beautiful things. It's security, it's stability, it's you know, a certain quality of life. It's the finer things. Squaring the Mars, earlier on, not being able to have those finer things being rough, maybe going to school with no deodorant, stinking. You saw the old videos, him in the rough braids, and he had it, you know, it wasn't easy. He had to get it, you know. And that is, you know, him, Sun and Mercury, using his mind, using his, you know, his wordplay, working hard. Mars being drive and ambition, going out there, rapping, talking, speaking, you know, every day, going out there. Like, I demand better for my life. I want better. And that's also where he comes with the dream chasers and showing off, you know, the diamonds and the Wraith and the this and the that and the I want the Lamborghini truck. And you know, his raps are inspirational, especially, you know, if you grew up in, you know, a neighborhood like his, or you grew up in the hood. He is a hood, like he's a champion. He's a champion. He's overcome a lot of obstacles and adversity, you know, to be where he is. But the Venus, him being a Sun in Taurus, period, that is the commercialism. That is the where you rap about the Gucci and you talk about the labels. That is Taurus energy. The labels, the finer things, the champagne. I got the Gucci flip flops. I got the I'm dipped in this and Balenciaga. That is Taurian. That's their lane. That is their lane. And then of course squaring the Mars, and Gemini, and the Mercury squaring the Mars and Gemini, talking about it, putting it out there, spreading the word. This is how I got it. Now you go get it through hard work, because it's the square. Okay. Now, he also has, yeah, he's very strong-willed and also very, you know, he has put it out there, you know, like Nicki being narcissistic, but he requires a lot of attention. He requires a lot of attention. He requires being number one. He requires not being overshadowed with the moon in Leo and also the Jupiter and Venus in Aries. North Node being in Aries. And Jupiter and Venus conjunct in Aries, which is someone with, you know, me, I. No, you know, especially when it comes to romance and relationships. Now, he's a lover, and of course, he's a Taurus. Any man that is Venusian, you know, those Venusian, Taurus man, Libra man, even some Pisces men, because, you know, Pisces are Neptunian, but it's a higher octave of Venus. What's another man, you know, another sign that's kind of into relationships. Well, Taurus men are into relationships, Libra men are into relationships, Piscean men are into relationships, or like, being, oh, of course, Cancer men love being in relationships. Those feminine signs, even though in masculine forms, there's still a certain amount of relating that is very hold me, cuddle me, love me, nurture me, give to me, ooh, love on me. They like being in relationships, and they but for Meek, Jupiter conjunct Venus in Aries, and the Aries is all about not in its Venus, not wanting to share. Like, I'm not sharing you. I don't share. Not my woman. My woman is mine. Me, mine. And then, of course, the moon in Leo. Like, you want the showstopper. You want the woman who gets the attention, but she's mine. She's all mine. And that's it. Period. Now, when Meek started having the issues around, when he went in for popping the Willie, what was going on in the sky? Like, what triggered it? And then also I'll talk about, how he's like a modern Marley, a modern revolutionary, and why his life, was chosen for that, to be a representative of what a lot of black men go through, in America, from coast to coast, and him being the face of that, the poster child. He is the champion, but him being the poster child for what black men go through. Um, Also, if you look back at his old pictures when he was rough with the braids, just going through it, going through it, a dusty period. And if you're from the hood, and it's a good chance, if you weren't a spoiled brat, it's a good chance you know that you have your ebbs and flows, you have your ups and downs. You got the one summer where you fly as fuck and you the hottest shit, and then maybe your family go through some shit, and the next summer, shit kind of rough, and you shit is rough, and you ain't as hot as you was last year. You have those times and those moments. It'd be like that. Um, but yeah, let's look into that really quick, and then I'll go into why he was chosen. I'm still here, guys. Why he was chosen to be, the poster child for. And anytime you hear Taurus, like if there is a Taurus rapping, or if there is a Taurus that's famous, or a Taurus that's out there, they are going to be the ones that's drinking the champagne, talking about the crystal, um, But even in all of that, there's still, because it's an earth sign, it's still a humbleness to it. It's still, they gonna be the ones talking about the Range Rover and the latest this and latest that, but it's still a humbleness to them because they're earth signs, because it's an earth sign. It's still it's still something relatable about them. And there's a lot relatable about Meek Mill. He's relatable to a lot of especially a lot of African Americans. Number one, he come from nothing to something. He's dark skinned. We saw him look dusty. We saw him look raggedy, scraggly. And then we seen him come up. We understand that it's relatable. At least I understand it. He's relatable. You know how many dudes I know, that they ain't reached Meek Mill status, but I just seen them go through some things, and now they cool, they straight, they looking good, smelling good, dressing nice, cologned up, you know. What the young people say, like they dripping, so to speak. But they had their rough times, and you don't, treat a person any different, because we know, especially if you come from that, like okay, maybe mama got laid off, or the dad just got whatever, you just know, and it is what it is. But then when they looking good and they all together, you kind of cheer them on and be like, yeah, I see you out here, okay, kind of a thing. But okay, so what was going on in the sky around his arrests? What was going on in the sky around his arrest to propel this? All right, now, and this is something else. The moon in Leo, and then the judge, and the situation that's going on, with the judge. At the time, the North Node was actually, or Rahu, the North Node was actually in Leo, okay, making a strong aspect or conjunction to his moon. The North Node, of course, is your point of destiny, but there's also a dark side to the North Node too. It can bring out, especially, and because it's his moon in women, a darker side, a possessive side, a controlling side, and someone who is heavily attracted to fame and notoriety, which is the issue that we all were made aware of with the judge. Now, on the day that he was arrested, though, the moon was actually in Gemini, and the moon was in Gemini, and it was actually, making a conjunction to his Mars. So he had the moon, squaring his sun and Mercury, and then the moon in conjunction with his Mars. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a feminine figure, a woman who was possibly making calls like behind the scenes or doing some shit behind the scenes. More than one woman, multiple women, who possibly, because of the connection with Mars, and Mars rules police, had a connection, with the police, talking to the police, working with the police, or having even like a family member, like a brother or a relative that was an officer to run down. Like, he ain't fucking with me no more, or I got beef or issues with him, and putting the officer or this particular set of officers on alert to say, if you see him, if he, sneezes wrong, go jump. Now, the bigger picture with this whole situation is how, he's looked at now kind of like a modern revolutionary in a sense, or his life is being used, because we know across the country that black men get arrested for the and charged at a higher rate for the simplest shit. And this was something that was simple. He popped a wheelie on a motorbike like he's a boy. Well, he's a man, but we know that falls under the umbrella of shit that men enjoy stuff like that. They enjoy bikes, dirt bikes, okay? And he didn't have on a helmet or something like that. So, anyhow, he has, why this was brought about, and what is this, 2018, we going into 2019. This is what? This is December 2018. By next August, September, we'll know. By next August, September. Could be a little bit before that, but there'll be a definite. And this is intuition. By next August, September, and this is a prediction. By next August, September, we'll know. We'll have an answer. And a little bit before that, like maybe the ending of the summer, I'm getting more of a warmer energy. I hate to say it, but I'm getting energy around him having to sit for a little bit, but not long. And then, it kind of resolving. Now, or there is an energy of being of course there's fear there, being taken away and having to sit, but I'm getting energy around being held. Him being held is what's coming through now. But by next year, August, September, I'm getting the energy of us knowing, or him having a definite, like the gavel bang. And I'm getting a dark energy too, of having to sit. And I'm hoping that changes, but that's what's coming through to me now. What did I want to say though? Yeah. The last 7 years, he had the planet of, revolution, of change, of having people gather behind you, your fans, people who love you, building a huge platform, cult-like audience. Of course, he had Uranus transiting his Jupiter, his North Node, and his Venus. Okay, in, of course, the sign of Aries, which Aries, rules and can rule over the police, the militia, fighting, unruliness on the darker side, and standing up and fighting for. Okay, and Uranus is, of course, rules being the rebel, with a cause, and then in Aries having something to fight for. And the reason why people stood behind him was the Jupiter, and of course the Venus. People having a love for, a compassion for, and an understanding for, and also being willing to fight for and stand up and get out there and rally in the streets, for him. And you see, like, it's plain and simple. Like, it's plain. It's common sense, or it appears to be common sense. Like, it was something that should have been open and shut, but it shed light on what hundreds of thousands of black men are going through across the nation, which is the sextile from the Uranus, the Jupiter, and the Venus, the transiting Uranus, the Jupiter, and the Venus, and his north node to his Mars in Gemini. Spreading the message, no matter how uncomfortable or how people try to fight against or go against. Spreading the message regardless. This is what the people have to see and know. Making it public, making people aware. Spreading the news. That's what Gemini does. Now, the biggest factor in why he went through all this shit and why he has had tumultuous and traumatic life to a certain to a large extent. The biggest Mac Daddy of them all, of aspects, is, again, he has the Pluto opposition. He has Pluto opposing his Mercury and also his Sun, which is why he was put in a position of power, but also why he always has to fight, the system, fight the powers that be. Like I said, it brings out jealousy and it brings out the darker side in others. They don't want to see you win. They want to take you down. And then he also had transiting Jupiter that year, this year, while he was sitting in jail. Before Jupiter just went into Sagittarius, he had transiting Jupiter, and the reason, he had transiting Jupiter also opposing his, his Sun and his Mercury. And then that Jupiter conjuncting when he was arrested, that Jupiter conjuncting his Pluto and then opposing his Sun and Mercury. The lockup. Okay? The darker side, the powers that be, the jealous forces, the evil in others, because it's the opposition, garnering and gaining power over him. But the Aryan energy and the rebel, the Uranus transiting the Aries with Jupiter, his Venus, two very benefic planets, kind of sheltered and protect him and rallied and made the people get up and uprise and fight. Aryan energy. We ain't taking this shit sitting down. Even though Pluto is the general, when you have enough people standing with you, beside you, and behind you, it's enough to change things. The square from Aries to the Scorpio, Jupiter, and Pluto. Enough to challenge the government and the real powers that be and change things. The uprising of the people. Okay? Being able to be a force against that, that mighty fist, and breaking it down finger by finger. Even though I got the energy and the message that, the court system and the powers that be are trying to hold it out, and be sneaky, and they would always try to be sneaky because he has that Pluto opposes Sun and Mercury and withhold information and all of that stuff. They're not going to, they're ultimately, I'm getting the energy that he's gonna be free and it's gonna be case closed and all that. And astrologically, what's on his side even more so is that Uranus is going to be entering Taurus. Okay. Now, why I say the people, it will be a continuation of the people being on his side. Okay, being able to garner an audience and keep the attention of the people and keep them following him. The op is trying to wait till the momentum around him dies down, but it's not going to. Okay, he's gonna keep being able to make noise and be out there and has a, a big platform and a big audience and people that's gonna stand behind him, people who are, powerful, because he has transiting Pluto in Capricorn, trining his Sun and his Mercury, strengthening him, giving him the strength where the op, his natural natal Pluto, is opposing him. He has transiting Pluto in Capricorn, strengthening him, giving him power to fight against the op. Okay? And then Uranus coming through with the people, the collective, the audience, the revolutionary, the rebels that are willing to fuck shit up, tear shit up, before they let an injustice go down. Okay? Uranus, the energy of Uranus is this. It's about change and transformation, and of course we know supreme intelligence. But on the flip side of things, if something isn't fair, Uranian energy will say, fuck all this shit. We gonna tear this whole, but if you can't get it, and it's like, you know how Libra is about balance and fairness and equality? Well, Aquarian energy with Uranus is kind of like that to the 10th power, where if it's not fair, where Libra would turn the other cheek and say, let's negotiate, Uranus would say, fuck it, tornado and torpedo this whole bitch then. If he can't get it, she can't get it, nobody gets it. Fuck the whole shit up. That's, the energy. And ultimately he gonna be all right is what's coming through. Yeah, I am getting the energy of an engagement around him, or a very serious, another serious relationship that keeps popping up and coming through as well. All right, I'm Earthy Indigo, psychic medium, intuitive, and tarot card reader. Click on the link in the description. I look forward to reading for y'all. Bye.